Whew. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we don't have technical fucking issues here. Okay, just making sure nothing's falling off the fucking goddamn top shelf there. Anyways, so, part of my childhood, again, this is not childhood trauma. This is kind of a video I always wanted to talk about as well. Not part of anything to do with childhood trauma. Nothing to do with childhood trauma this time around. Oh, new Chucky ad. Sorry, Okay. Alrighty then. So, I just had to watch that in the background for a second. Anyways, this is, I guess, another Godzilla topic video. And in this Godzilla topic video, I guess you would say this is a one figure I always wanted. Now, hear me out. If it wasn't Titanosaurus, and if it wasn't Mechagodzilla from 1974-75, and Amanda, and, the big snake creature monster, this is one figure I always wanted as a kid as well. But it really wasn't one that I was like, oh my god, the one that I really want the most. No, it wasn't like that. In fact, funny story, my brother, Kyle, he used to be a big fan of, well, not really a big fan, but he liked some Godzilla kaiju monsters. He liked Kiryu, and he liked this other kaiju monster. Well, as a young kid, that's one monster kaiju that he always wanted, besides the Kiryu one. I had Kiryu, so of course when we were kids, he would play with the Kiryu, I would play with the Godzilla. But one other kaiju monster that he always wanted was no other than Megalon. And now that I think about it, he never got Megalon. But since I'm working, since I have money, I was like, you know what? I never got the figure that I always wanted as a kid. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna end up finally buying Megalon. And behold, my first Megalon figure I ever freaking bought. This is probably a year ago. This is, according to the foot here, Bandai 1992 Japan. And this one is from Bullmark as well. My only actual Bullmark figure. Now, I know some of these Bullmark / Bandai Godzilla kaiju figures or monster figures can go for a crazy amount of prices. Heck, I even think some of the Megalons, some of the original Megalon figures, not the remakes, not the, because apparently they made remakes of these for, I don't know, back in like 2017 or something. I'm talking about like the original ones or something like that, or I don't know. I think some of the originals came out in the 70s, and some of the later ones came out in the 90s, but some of those 70s or 80s ones of the Bullmark Megalons can go up to, not even kidding, thousands and thousands of dollars. I have seen videos, and I have seen pictures, and fucking shit all over eBay and Amazon, I think. So yeah, and yeah, I didn't pay $1,000 for this, but I do know I seen a hefty chunk of price for one of the Bullmark Megalons on eBay one time. It was more to the actual color and paint that it had in the movie, like kind of more, in a way, screen accurate, I guess. Now, when they ended up originally making Megalon figures, they made them about this tall, same sculpt, same everything, same sculpt, same everything, but, when they made Bullmark Megalons, but they made colored variants, and as you can see, this is a colored variant Bullmark Megalon. You can clearly see he's super green, which is, he's not that green in the movie at all. There's a little stripe, I guess, of brown, reddish brown. It kind of looks like a little reddish brown there. Um, Yellow eyes, which he did have in the movie. So yellow eyes, as you can see. Um, and then a lot of like grayish white for the face, which is I don't think Megalon had a grayish white face. So I don't know, or like just the face part, not the sides of the face, just the face part. You know? So yeah, as you can see, it's one of those colored variant Bullmark figures. Um, Bandai really doesn't make Godzilla figures like this anymore. I guess when they very, very first started making figures, majority of them were crazy looking Bullmark figures and stuff, because at the time, I guess Bullmark was a big company that were also helping out Bandai to make Godzilla figures or something. I don't know. But at a time, I do remember looking up old videos and old photos and stuff of old Godzilla figures. And a lot of them that would come up would be like this. Like, there'd be big, big, Godzilla figures like this. Big King Ghidorahs. Big, weird-looking Gigants. These Bullmark toys. And these would come out way before the actual Bandai figures that we are known to buying at like Walmart and stuff like that. You know. But yeah. So Bandai's aka Bullmark Megalon figure. Like I said, I don't have any other Bullmark figures. They're normally super fucking pricey because like I said, Bandai, when they first started really making figures, like I said, before selling them at Walmart and everything, they made them in these weird, like, colored variants, and they always, I guess, back in the day, kind of made their figures big. I mean, this is a pretty big figure, you know. They made them kind of big, too, back in the day, so, yeah. So. But then, moving forward, I was like, you know what, yeah, I finally got a Megalon figure in my collection, but this is not really the one at the time I really wanted to buy. I didn't really want to buy this one at the time, but I was like, for now, I want to get Megalon until I have the money to get a figure that's more accurate. Well, at the time, besides the non-colored variant ones, Bandai were just making the same sculpt, like I said, but with the more accurate paint job. Like from the movie. And at the time, I was like, okay, they have not just the weird paint job one like this, but they have ones that are actually, normal kind of paint job to the movie. But in my opinion, I just really didn't like the sculpt that much, I never really was into the sculpt. Like, it looks like a Megalon, but I was never really into the sculpt all that much. And, yeah, the paint job, like I said, besides their colored variants, the paint job was pretty good at its time. I mean, it looked really almost close, in my opinion, to the actual screen used, Megalon from the movie. But still, I was like, I want one that's a little bit more better looking. Then after buying this, I ended up coming across for a while, and I was debating this, I ended up coming across the YMSF Megalon figure, and let me tell you, YMSF blows the freaking Bandai Megalon figures away. They do. They for the longest time, they were blowing the freaking Megalon figures away. Look it up. YMSF Megalon figures, and you'll see, oh yeah, that looks 10 times better than what Bandai was making over here. And yeah, so I was like, man, I want to buy this figure. This looks really good. Go on eBay, 150, $200. What? I'm not paying that much for a YMSF figure. And you know what? They ended up making Amanda, they made a Varen, figures too that Bandai really never made. Looks awesome, but I'm not paying $200. They made the spider monster, I think. Kamanga? or whatever. They made that figure and another $200. I'm not paying that much for these YMSF figures. They look amazing. They're pretty good, but no. And I even think I can name a whole bunch of them that they made. They made the Ebera sea creature, monster, the big lobster. They made that, which looks good, but I'm not paying that much money. Those are freaking expensive. They look good. They're in the scale with the Bandai figures, pretty good up there with the Bandai figures, but I don't want to buy those, for like scale at least, they were good, but too much, So for a long while, I was out of options. I just gave up. I just said, you know what, at least I have one Megalon figure finally in my collection. Yeah, I'm not paying $100 to $200 for the other figure that's just with the actual paint job, like from the movie. I'm not paying a $200 for that. So I bought this. I'm like, yeah, this is a variant, colored variant. It is what it is. I only paid like, what, $70 for this compared to how much normally a Megalon figure goes for. So I was out of luck. I was shit for luck. And then I ended up hearing and seeing tweets that Bandai were making at the time some more Godzilla figures. And I'm like, huh. Okay, I'm like, huh. I click on this video. They made a Mogira, which is I have right there next to the Glen, and there's the Mogira one that they're re-releasing or whatever. And to my shockery that I didn't think they were going to do this, because like I said, Megalon's kind of a hard figure to come across, like Titanosaurus and like some of the ones I named that YMSF made. So I was shocked that they ended up making another Megalon, or re-releasing a Megalon figure. And I gotta say, this is pretty good. Better than this thing. This is pretty good. Now, this Megalon is almost accurate to the Bullmark one, but they kind of scaled it down, and they didn't make the figure super fucking fat. Look at the Bullmark one. He's pretty big. The Bullmark is pretty big, pretty kind of fat in a way. It's just a big, chunky figure. And there's not, in my opinion, there is detail, but with how the paint job is it's just not, and like I said, I'm not paying $200 and something for the normal movie accurate paint job one. Screw that. So, I ended up going on eBay for their newer released Megalon figure from Bandai. Boom, $25, $29. I was like, oh my god, I was kind of freaking out, honestly. I was sitting there, I'm like, there's no way there's a $25, $29 Megalon figure. No way this new Megalon figure is that much. Just can't be. Normally his figures are like $200 and something. Well, I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. Hopefully I don't get scammed out of my money. The photos, the figure looked good. And I got it in the mail. I ended up doing an unboxing video, I think, for this once. And yeah, here it is. The newer released Megalon figure. And yeah, this is really actually pretty good. Now, I know there's some flaws in minor, I guess, mess-ups, you would say. Like, I do think the front side here could be painted more. But regardless, this is not that bad. Like, this looks, honestly, in my opinion, better than the other figure. You can really see more of the detail, as you can see, So, it's just a better looking figure than whatever this is. Hold on, let me actually try to get him out a little more so y'all can see. Way better than this, This looks more like how he did in the movie. For an action figure toy representation, yes. Now, I know the original one had actually non-paint variant, had the paint actually right here, and I think there was more paint around, like, more on the wings and everything, but still, besides some of the flaws, This is really good. And before you say, oh, that might be a knockoff, that might be a fake. Nope. Because on the bottom of the feet, Bandai China, that's what it says, and then Toho Co. Ltd. Y'all know that's Bandai. So yeah, ended up getting this in the mail, and I was so blown away. And here's the Megalon's tag. Here's this Megalon figures tag. And yeah, here's the tag just to prove that it's the real deal. As you can see, 2021 is when this figure came out, so last year. And yeah, and here's the back of it. I know y'all can't read Japanese, but here's the back of it. And then let me get my finger out of the way. You can see the logo on the bottom there. The red logo with the white. It says Bandai. It's kind of blurry. It's blurry. I don't think it's going to fucking unblur. Come on, unblur. Unblur. Yeah, it's not going to unblur. But, yeah. So, let me open it up to even show more. I don't like to really lose these tags anymore. I remember I got some Godzilla figures back in the day. It was the Final Wars Anguirus one. Not the one you would get at Toys R Us with inside the box. It was an Anguirus one that I bought online. It wasn't the one that you would find in the Final Wars packaging at Toys R Us. But it was that figure, and I completely lost the fucking toy. I mean, not the toy. I lost the tag. I lost that tag for that Anguirus figure. And now, yeah, these tags should be sleeved, or they should be taken in better care. But even when I originally got this toy, it did have this crease in the tag when I first got it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But there's the inside. I know you can't really read much, but yeah. So, and I just tried to keep these in at least a little bit of good condition, so. But yeah, and like I said, I was completely blown away. So yeah, and like I said, normally Megalon is not an easy kaiju figure to come across. Just like Titanosaurus, you're going to be paying a lot of money for him. But I was shocked when I ended up actually finding, this for $25 on eBay. After tax came to like $30 after tax. And that was a year ago. Now it's probably almost $100, I guarantee you, on eBay. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Megalon, a little story, I guess you would say. Yeah, I just was so blown away that I found this, and at the time I thought I was gonna get, I thought when I opened up the packaging, I thought there was gonna be like a fake bootleg or something, or heck, I thought it was gonna be totally nothing. That's what I thought. But I was wrong. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's the video. It's kind of late. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. So, geez Louise, and I really don't know what else to say. I mean, that's it. Kind of just wanted to make this video of somewhat of a memory there, I guess. So, alright, see y'all later then.